What's up, guys? Claudia Balafato here with JD Rachi. The series opener against West Virginia tonight. First pitch set for 7 p.m. It's time for our Auburn Doubledays pregame show brought to you by Cayuga Community College. JD, before we get into West Virginia, let's talk a little bit about the end of the series last night against Batavia Muck Dogs. The Doubledays dropped the 2 games, the doubleheader yesterday. Let's talk about the good aspects of it. We saw Romero in that first game, 5 innings pitched. He only allowed 1 run. He struck out 9. I'd say it was one of the best games he's had this season.
By far the best game he's had this season. The 1 run he did give up was unearned because of an error in the field by the defense, and it was off a sacrifice fly. It wasn't like he was giving up a ton of hits. It wasn't like he gave up a couple of doubles and they moved him over and got him in. It was a fantastic performance for Carlos Romero. Every pitch was working. I think that was the most impressive part for me from his outing. We saw the 9 strikeouts. He did it with the changeup. He did it with the curveball. He did it with the fastball. It didn't matter what he threw at the Batavia Muck Dogs in the first 5 innings of that game. They really just couldn't figure him out. And the fact that he's doing that 2 games after, or a second appearance after being injured for almost 2 weeks, says a lot about the kind of fortitude that he has, the kind of resilience and wherewithal that he has at just 20 years old. He's still a super young guy, 6'6", super projectable to the next level and to the upper levels of the minor leagues at such a young age. He was awesome yesterday.
We saw Amos Willingham in his first pro start in Game 2 of that doubleheader, and kind of what we expected. He pitched 3 innings, struck out 3 guys. Pretty good performance from him.
Yeah, and I was impressed because, when you get into that role and you're in the bullpen and you're coming in the middle of games or you're coming in later in games, it's a completely different mindset. But the good thing for the Doubledays is they have a guy like Amos Willingham who started a bunch of games at Georgia Tech this season in his lone D1 baseball season this year with the Yellow Jackets. They have a guy like him that they can turn to and say, hey, we need a spot start, we need you to go well, we need you to play well. They got that yesterday. Unfortunately, the bats just didn't back him up in Game 2.
I got a chance to talk with Amos Willingham before today's game to kind of talk about those different transitions. Here with Amos Willingham, who had his first pro start yesterday against the best team in the division. Tell me, what was the biggest change in your approach going from relief to starter?
Well, since I have a lot of experience starting, it was kind of getting back to normal, really. And, starting's just more about routines, while relieving's kind of, you just get thrown into a situation you really can't control. So I felt comfortable starting again.
And talking about that experience, you had 2 years at JUCO before getting to Georgia Tech, and then you got assigned to Auburn about a month ago. When you got that news, how prepared did you feel to go pro?
I was ready for it. Just playing pro ball has been a dream of mine since I was a little kid. So pretty much all my baseball career up to this point has been leading to here. So it was pretty cool.
And at 6'4", you're a big guy on the mound with good control. You were throwing over 90 before getting picked up by Georgia Tech. At this point in the pro league, what is your main focus for improvement?
Just getting stronger, focusing on, building velocity, but also trying to build my secondary pitches more. Having a good changeup at this level is really important, and so I've really just tried to develop my changeup and my curveball a little bit more.
You were one of 7 coming out of Georgia Tech drafted. Do you guys keep in touch? You have a little group chat going on?
We do. I keep in touch with a lot of those guys. I keep in touch with a lot of guys at Snead State too. So baseball is like a really big fraternity. So
one big family, right?
Yeah.
All right. Good luck tonight, Amos Willingham, guys.
Thank you.
Strong performance for Willingham yesterday. Unfortunately, the offense just really grew quiet over those 2 games in the doubleheader, and that's really where the chips fell.
Well, you look at Game 1 and Game 2, the Doubledays through the first 3+ innings of both those games didn't have a base runner. Both starters yesterday for Batavia, Eli Villalobos and then Jackson Rose, both had perfect games going into the 4th inning, and they kept them going for quite some time. Jackson Rose was especially impressive in just his 4th start of the season for Batavia. He's been kind of one of those guys like Amos Willingham who will make a couple of spot starts here and there. Luckily for the Doubledays, Albert Carrillo continues to mash the baseball. He had a home run yesterday, one of just 2 hits in Game 2 of the doubleheader. He continues to be awesome. Unfortunately for Auburn, Caldioli Sunflares' 19-game on-base streak came to an end. In Game number 2, he was 0 for 3, so it stops there at 19 games, but still a fantastic stretch for Caldioli Sunflare, and he continues to be the best and most consistent hitter on this baseball team throughout the season for the Doubledays, so we should expect big things from him and Carrillo today.
Absolutely, and Carrillo, especially in the past 5 games, has really been on fire. 4 doubles, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and when you look at the lineup, we're so used to seeing guys like Son Flair, so it's good to see Carrillo kind of making those strides. Who else do you see on today's lineup to have a big game?
Well, you look at Wilmer Perez, he had the home run yesterday, but I'm going to look to a guy that had just about as long of an on-base streak as Caldioli Son Flair. It stopped at 13 games a couple of nights ago at Dwyer Stadium. That's JT Arruda batting out of the 3-hole today, a little bit further up in the lineup. We've seen him at the very top of the lineup. We saw him bat at lead off in one of the games against the Lowell Spinners early this week. We've also seen him bat toward the middle and toward the end. Now we're kind of in that no man's land where he hasn't batted quite yet this season. He leads the team in walks. The on-base percentage is awesome for him. He gets on base at a high clip, and having a guy like that in the 3-hole could be really productive. He's going to be Abner's pick today.
Series opener against West Virginia tonight, first pitch set for 7 p.m. Thanks for watching the Auburn Doubledays pregame show, brought to you by Cayuga Community College, Claudia Belfato, JD Rachi, and don't forget to listen to JD and Jack McMullen on FingerLakes1.com for all the game action. Thanks, guys.